This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by Caoimhín Agyarko here in Liverpool at the Rotunda. Caoimhín, fresh off your flight, fresh into the gym. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be back in Liverpool. I know I'm only over here for a short stay, over for the show, and obviously to catch up with the boys, coaches, Joe and Dak, and all the boys in gym. But I'm buzzing to be here, just happy to see the lads. You know what I mean? I haven't been here since October, so it's good to come back, get a catch up with them, and plan for the future.
I was going to say, Caoimhín, obviously I've just come over, spoke to you, and you're having a chat there with Joe and Dec and the team, and you certainly seem like, you know, you're in good spirits, good vibes. And is it something which you've missed, obviously not being able to come back over since October, as you mentioned?
Yeah, do you know what? Obviously I could have been over here, but for no real reason. You know what I mean? Like just spending money on essentially a camp while I'm injured. So it's been good to obviously come back and sit and see the boys. I've missed everyone in the gym, and yeah, I'm just happy to be back over seeing them.
Caoimhín, obviously I can see that you've got your left hand bandaged there. We know you had the surgery. How did it all go? How are things looking?
Yeah, it went well. Obviously, I had to get reconstruction on my ligament in my thumb. I also had a fracture in my index finger, so surgery was a success. A couple more weeks in this splint, and then I'll be ready to punch. So I'm hoping to be able to punch before maybe the end of the month, start of April, so not too far.
So I imagine there's a sense of frustration around that injury as well, because you've obviously started to build up a good relationship and rapport within the gym. I'm sure you wanted to build on that quickly in this, going into this year, and there's also a lot of talk that you would have been on that May 20th card, if it does still go ahead for Katie Taylor, of course.
Yeah, listen, it is what it is. It's a part of boxing. In 19 years, I never ever took a break. That's probably why I had to get surgery. So I've had injuries and injuries and injuries, and I've always just fought through them and just kind of put the pain aside. If you ask Joe, I was pleading with him to let me fight Peter Dobson on October 29th, I believe it was. So listen, it's one of the things. It's a part of the game. I made the right call to go get surgery and kind of postpone my career for a while for the next couple of months. And yeah, listen, it'll be heartbreaking if May 20th goes ahead and I'm not on that card, but I've got to do what's best for my career. There's no point setting myself back even longer and kind of rushing back too soon. So I'm just going to listen to my team, listen to the hand specialists and everybody who's advised me on what to do next, and when I'm ready, I'll be ready to go.
What have they advised you on what to do next, and when you're hopeful of being able to train, you know, injury-free?
I was told after the operation I would need 3-4 months. We're kind of, well, I think 6-7 weeks now since I got it, so I'm just hoping by the end of kind of March, start of April, I'm back punching. Do you know what I mean? It's my thumb's feeling fine. There's no issues with it. It's healing up well. The scar's healing. The swelling's going down. So yeah, they're saying probably April time I'll be back fully fit punching.
Back April time. So what's the plan for you then, Caoimhín? If you could, when you return to the ring, I imagine it'll be slightly after that. But what's the plan that you see in terms of potential fights? I don't imagine you want any easy fights, but at the same time, I don't imagine you want one too tough, just so you can get a feel for your hand again.
Yeah, listen, I think a warm-up fight will be ideal for my next fight. I think that's what will happen. When I say a warm-up, I won't be fighting any journeyman. I'm past that stage, even with an injury or coming back from injury. There is no need for journeyman. I still want to be tested, but it's got to be a calculated test, one that isn't too dangerous post-op. But yeah, I hope to be out, if it's not May 20th, I hope to be out sometime June, if not July, and then yeah, just push on. I want to compete for a European title before the end of the year, and put myself in good stead for 2024 to fight for world titles.
Are there any names in particular you look at and you think that realistically you think you should ring them? There's one obvious one in Spike O'Sullivan, which has been mentioned with yourself, but is there anyone out there you look at and you think, I want that fight?
Not really, no. I don't look at the division and be like, I'm just not that guy to call people out. I'm really not. But listen, you got Troy Williamson, you got Josh Kelly. The middleweight division's stacked, or the light middleweight division, sorry, is stacked with good talent. You know what I mean? Good domestic fighters. I want to test myself against the best. So whoever's there, whoever my team, whoever Eddie, whoever Joe thinks next for me, my job is to fight. I'll get in the ring right now and fight with one hand if needed be. So whoever's there. But like I said, you got the Troy Williamsons, the Josh Kellys. Do you know what I mean? A Mason Cartwright would be a good fight for me. But like you said, Spike O'Sullivan, Dennis Hogan. I know that my teammate JJ is getting the Dennis Hogan fight, and that would have been a good fight for me as well. So they're the kind of names, especially someone like Dennis Hogan, who has an Irish background as well as myself. So it's an exciting fight.
Just touching on the teammates and the campmates' perspective of it, and you must be in the perfect gym when you look at it and you think you've got Beefy in here, fights at 154 to 160, JJ 154, Josh Taylor, who's a 140 guy. A lot of very good sparring available to you, obviously, when you're fit and healthy.
Yeah, unbelievable sparring, but better than that, I've got the knowledge of people who's been there and done it. Do you know what I mean? You got Josh, Taylor, and Liam, who's both been world champions. You know what I mean? They've been proven world champions, and I can gain experience of them just by talking to them. Even when they're watching me spar and I'm coming out and asking them questions, or I haven't sparred them yet, but if we do spar, do you know what I mean? That's knowledge and experience that you can't buy. So I look forward to it.
Just to touch on those campmates and what's in line for them, we was obviously expecting to see Taylor Cattrall too. We won't see that. Instead, it seems like we will see Taylor-Lopez instead. Talk to me about that fight from your perspective, Keith.
Listen, it's a massive fight for Josh. If you look at Josh's career, he's never shied away from a challenge, never shied away from one of the best in the divisions. I mean, he's always fought top elite fighters, and you have to do that to become an undisputed world champion. So I think it's a winnable fight for Josh. I think with obviously Lopez moving up, he moved up to 140, didn't he? Yeah, he's moved up. So he hasn't been impressive, especially in his last fight. Yeah, he wasn't impressive at all, and I think someone like Josh is a nightmare for anybody. He's a tall 140 that can bang and can fight on the inside, fight on the outside, has the amateur experience, and is a proven world champion. So it'll be a cracking fight, and I expect fireworks.
And Beefy, we're obviously expecting to see the Chris Eubank Jr. rematch at some point. Junior kept the rivalry alive somewhat in the immediate aftermath of it, suggestions of the elbow coming in. Then he went and invoked the rematch clause on Valentine's Day of all days. I know you're going to back your campmate, but if I did get it confirmed and share the ring for a second time around, what would happen?
The exact same thing. I said this prior to the first fight. I said that Liam beats him. I honestly didn't expect a stoppage, but I thought that Liam would stop him late because Liam is a strong fighter. He comes into a fight, Eubank starts fast, and I knew that he would have to start fast to kind of keep Liam off him. And I expected a late stoppage, but I think no matter what, whether it's stoppage or points, I think Liam beats him. He's the superior fighter. He's a proven world champion. He's had the amateur background. He's beaten him once before, shown that he has power. See all this stuff about forearms and elbows, and it's a load of nonsense. You know, I mean, you get hit low blows, you get hit headbutts. It is what it is. It's part of the game, and I don't know if Eubank come out and said it himself, but I wouldn't like to think he'd be looking for an excuse on that performance. You know, I mean, give Liam his flowers. He performed well, and he did a job on Eubank.
And Kevin, just moving away from Liam and Chris Eubank Jr., just your thoughts on how everything's unfolded around Conor Benn. Speaking to Liam earlier, he's kind of fed up with it. He just wants to see a resolution to it. I think everybody in boxing and the wider world is no different. But just to ask you similar questions, obviously we saw the WBC statement come out a week or so ago now, suggesting that maybe the intake of eggs was the reason behind the elevated levels of clomiphene, and then Conor Benn released a statement suggesting in his 270-page dossier not once did he mention eggs. So what are your thoughts on the statements first and foremost?
It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? It's do you know what I mean? The WBC come out and say it could be because of eggs, and then which half gives Conor Benn a reasoning to why he failed the drug test, and then he comes out and says, no, I didn't. It's not because of eggs. I've got a 270 page document that proves whatever else. So, listen, it is a mess. I believe that Conor Benn has been managed badly in the media. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what advice he's getting off his team, but going on Piers Morgan and going out and doing this, that, and the other, coming on social media isn't the right way to go. You're going to rub people up the wrong way. If Conor Benn genuinely hasn't failed a drug test, or there's reason as to why he failed the drug test, let him box. If he hasn't, take your ban like everybody else and get on with it. If not, just drop the whole situation and just get on with it. I'm sick of hearing it, you're sick of hearing it, everyone else is sick of hearing about it, but I understand as a proud man that he's probably trying to clear his name, and if he feels like he hasn't failed the drug test, then he has the right to clear his name. but also it's one of them ones you just like. I mean, if you fail the drug test, there's something in your system that's came up, and I mean, eggs. I eat eggs every day, and I've never failed the drug test. So I don't know. It's the whole. I just feel like the whole situation is just a mess.
We've obviously seen with Conor, he said that he has no intentions of fighting under British Boxing Board of control, certainly for the immediate future, and there's been a lot of talk of him and Eddie's looking to get an American boxing licence, or he might fight in the UAE next. Manny Pacquiao has been mentioned as his return opponent. Your thoughts if the Manny Pacquiao fight came to fruition and it was to take place overseas?
As in, who do I think would win, or just
your thoughts on that scenario if it was to unfold, and then of course how you think the fight would go?
Listen, it doesn't really make sense. Ben's calling out all the top dogs at 147, right? He's saying, I want to fight the best at 147 and prove that I am the best in this weight, and put everything else behind me. But then goes out and calls out Manny Pacquiao, who's a 45, 47-year-old who's retired, or whatever age he is, who's retired. So it doesn't really make sense to me. But listen, if it does happen, it's no easy fight for Conor Benn. You know what I mean? I think as much as as Pacquiao's old, he still probably has it in him. So he's somebody that probably trains every single day. He's in the gym, and it'll be a tough fight.
And just a final one, Kevin, because he got announced, and we've got 2 back-to-back press conferences to look forwards to. Tank-Garcia, your thoughts?
Tank by decapitation. Literally, I don't see a way that that Garcia wins. I think, listen, he's got hand speed, he's got power, obviously, but I just think Tank will catch him, and when he does, he'll put him to sleep.
All right, Kevin, as always, it's a pleasure to catch up with you. I know you've got a busy day ahead, so I'll leave you to shoot off, and thanks for speaking to me.
Thank you very much, Andy.